72 hours. Without stores. What normal families run out of first. Most families think they could handle 72 hours without stores. But stores do not just feed a house. They hold the backup pieces of your entire life. The last trash bag, the last diaper, the last roll of toilet paper, the last dose of medicine, the last bag of pet food, the last thing that keeps everyone calm. Most people worry about what is coming into the house. Almost nobody prepares for what has to get out. That is the first signal. And the ready ones do not wait for empty shelves to teach them. They prepare before panic starts. Day 1. Day 1 feels easy. The fridge has something. The pantry has cans, rice, cereal, maybe pasta. Everyone says we're fine. Then dinner comes. You find pasta but no sauce, cereal but no milk, rice but no easy protein, frozen food, but the power is out. Or it takes an hour to cook, and nobody has the patience for that anymore. That is when you learn the truth. Most homes have ingredients, not meals. During early COVID panic buying, people did not rush stores for luxury items. They rushed for basic food, toilet paper, cleaning supplies, medicine, and baby items. Not because they were crazy, because normal life depends on boring things staying available. So tonight, build 3 no-store meals. 1 breakfast, 1 lunch, 1 dinner. Food your family already eats: oats, peanut butter, crackers, canned tuna, beans, soup, pasta with sauce, shelf-stable milk. Open your pantry tonight and ask one question: can this become dinner? Or is it just ingredients pretending to be a plan? But even with a full stomach, a house can become unlivable fast, because the real pressure does not start in the kitchen. It starts in the bathroom. Day 2. By day 2, small things become big things. Toilet paper, wipes, soap, feminine hygiene products, diapers, dish soap, laundry detergent, trash bags, pet food, formula, prescription refills, and stop right there. If the pharmacy closes, that small bottle of medicine suddenly becomes the most valuable thing in your house. If you have a baby, formula is not optional. If you have a dog, pet food is not optional. If someone needs medication, the pharmacy is not optional. The ready ones are not hoarders. They are people who refuse to let one empty bottle become a family emergency. Use the one open, one backup rule. When one essential item is open, one unopened backup is already in the house. Not 10, 1. Quiet preparation. Not panic buying. But by day 3, the biggest thing your home runs out of may not be supplies. It may be patience. Day 3. By day 3, everyone is tired of improvising. Kids want familiar snacks. Adults want coffee. Dishes stack up. Trash starts smelling. Someone is annoyed. Someone wants to drive around looking for an open store. Someone says, "We should have bought this earlier." This is how a calm home turns sharp. During the Texas winter crisis, many families faced several problems at once: closed stores, power outages, water trouble, empty shelves, and dangerous roads. That is the real danger. Not one problem. Several ordinary problems arriving together. So build a calm shelf: coffee or tea, kid snacks, pet food, paper plates, trash bags, wipes, pain reliever, batteries, cash. One comfort item. This is not about luxury. It is about keeping everyone from losing their minds. The forgotten category. Now here is the part most people forget completely: waste. A home does not only need supplies coming in, it needs waste going out. Trash bags, toilet paper, wipes, soap, paper towels, cleaning spray, cat litter, dog waste bags, gloves. Without them, your home gets harder to live in fast. And once hygiene starts slipping, everything feels worse than it is. So tonight, do one thing. Walk through your kitchen, bathroom, medicine shelf, pet supplies, and trash area. Write down the first 5 things your home would run out of if stores closed for 72 hours. Then fix just 1. The ready ones do not wait for empty shelves to teach them. Prepare before panic starts. This is Last Signal.